What up?
What's happening?
Oh
We're
my God.
back.
I felt like I was over here juggling like 17 things. My brain power is very much directed towards what was happening in my meditation. So my brain people are here, but very much all on one task. And there are so many mini tasks that go into making this happen. Hello, we need help still,
That
producers.
we
Like, please. But yeah, so but we got here. We're here and we made
yes,
it. And
made
there's
it.
a lot that's going on. So I guess we should do our official introduction. If you're here watching live, say hey in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from, okay? And go ahead and subscribe to the page if you haven't done so already. So what's up? Welcome to So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. We are two real life cousins, and we are here to talk about the stuff that we thought was normal but was actually our family recipe of dysfunction. So we're on a mission to unpack it all, share our stories, help others find their voices when it comes to healing and mental health. And we're inviting you along for this journey of self-discovery, of laughter, and hopefully a little bit of healing. My name is Kim Berland, Ty Lynn, House of O'Neill, Jackson, and Adams, empathetic energizer, intuitive, inspirational innovator, seer of souls who are hurting, healer of hearts, and voice to the voiceless.
Amen, amen, amen. And aren't we blessed to know her? I am Kalonda, first of her name, House of Jackson, assistant of entrepreneurs, beacon of banter. I am a creator of content, dancer of dreams, and excellence enchantress. And don't forget, a NOLA native. That is me. So we have been having fun. While you're here, we get to introduce ourselves. We also get to talk about what you expect from us and then what we expect from you. So first up from us, a great time. Because we are a friggin' hoot. We also curse. I didn't do it just then, but it was
I think I have a lot of cursing to do today, so definitely, and not like bad, like going off cursing, but
yeah,
just and to make it colorful.
it's
Can I tell a
colorful.
quick story about cursing right
Of
quick?
course.
Okay, so I went to a Catholic high school. If any of you are watching who went to high school with me, it would be very helpful for you to corroborate this story because people don't be believing me. So I went to a Catholic all girls high school. We had nuns that taught us. And one day we had a guest speaker or guest speakers, and it was some nuns that were coming from the convent. They used to be in their whole like nun attire. I don't
Garb, a
recall
full
what
habit.
it's called. What's it called?
A,
A habit?
a habit. Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. So they used to be in that, right? Some of them just used to have the little, I forget the
No,
light
I
one
don't know
in
that.
Sister Act, who just
Right.
seems real, yeah. But they just had that deal, and then some of them had the whole situation. Anyway, so some of them came in to my math class with Sister Lucy. She was my favorite teacher ever. She was so nice. But anyway, and the nuns were like, the issue with words is that people take words and they bastardize them.
Mm.
And she was like, words don't, many times words, the meaning that they have today is not what the meaning that
Hmm.
they had before. And she was like, for example, the word fuck. Fuck is an exclamation. And then she just kept saying it. She was like, fuck, fuck, fuck. So imagine sitting in my all girls Catholic private school with nuns saying fuck many times. It just ignited something in my soul. It was like, sometimes you got to color that thing up with a good fuck. Okay.
You
So
know,
is my favorite curse word, by the way. Actually don't use it as often, but it is my favorite. When I use it, that means yes, she really likes this.
she's like,
Okay,
mm.
that's all.
She's like, I'm just saying. That is the thing. I don't know if I have a favorite curse word. I'm gonna have to, maybe bitch. I don't know. Because I do curse. It's not like I
Does
don't,
it
but I don't
depend
know if
on
I
the
have a
context? Does it
favorite.
depend on if it's like colorful language or because like do you curse when you telling people off?
I don't really tell people off though.
Oh, that's just me.
I gotta work on that, I guess.
But for instance, I don't curse when I tell people off. When I tell people off,
Oh,
I get
gotcha.
very, very, very intentional with the
Mm,
words that I'm using.
right.
And I pull out my best vocabulary words because I'm about to get you all the way together. Because who is you playing with
Who you
right
talking to?
now? You know, so I get really, really, really intentional with my words. I curse when I'm playing and when I'm like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe this, and to add colors. So, but
Right.
you're gonna be cursing people out. So, what is the context of when you curse?
I mean, it's just littered into the language, but it just depends. Because I may go a whole day and not say a curse word, but then there are other times where it's like bitch and oh my God, and then this fucking thing, like it's. So I guess it is more just like little colorful, a little sparkle, a little razzle dazzle, if you will. But definitely
That's
not like a
important to
favorite
know.
one.
Yeah, I think that's important to know because sometimes I think language can be misinterpreted. So
Oh, of
just
course.
putting when I said I had a whole lot to do, there's a lot of emphasis that I need to put, and some of them might make it better. So we
Might
just wanted to let y'all know that.
that you
Put
might
your
hear a
headphones
curse word.
on
It's
if
okay.
you want. Amen.
It's fine. But yeah, so we're gonna curse. It's a good time. We're a hoot. We're fucking funny. But we're gonna talk to you about the things that are happening in our lives. We want to know what's happening in your lives. We don't have all the answers. We are experts in a lot of things, not everything though. And that's what we're gonna talk to you about, the stuff we know about. And if we don't know about it, we're gonna get you the resource that does, because that's what we also do. What we expect from you is just being a willing participant in this journey and an active participant. So we want to see your comments. Feel free. We're going to be talking to you in the chat. Definitely share, like, comment, subscribe, share. If you smile even once during this entire podcast, send this to somebody else and be like, oh my God, you need to see this. It's one of the freest ways that you can support us and one of the best ways to help us as we continue to grow. You've already helped us hit some huge milestones, but we still have some more to go. Dun, 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 dun. So then while you, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was ready for the emojis. I was
She's like, I
ready
was
for
ready.
my speech. Sorry.
So if you do also see us while you're out in these streets because someone shared this podcast with you, if you see us somewhere else, one of the really cool ways to let us know that you came from here is to use our emojis. I use a ladybug and a blue heart. Ladybugs because they mean good luck and prosperity, and they were my absolute just universe messages from God when I was on my path to leaving the United States and just recovering. Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt you. I wanted to make sure you had a moment. Did you watch that video that I sent you from the teacher?
From the teacher. What video from the teacher? Which
I
one?
sent you a video recently from the teacher. I don't know. This is why we need separate group chats, because then I don't be knowing where stuff is at.
Where it is.
I don't know which one
Because
I
I've
sent it
seen
in. I'll
some
try to
videos
find
from
it.
the teacher, but I
I'll
don't know
try to
if I
find
saw
it.
that one. Okay.
I know it's
Oh, I'm
possible. Okay.
excited.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Which, side note, she disappeared. If ever anybody's into messaging and just kind of understanding what's happening in the universe and spirits and all that fun stuff, this is an amazing creator, and her messages just find a way to like needle into your soul. And so I feel like recently though, she had disappeared from like my Instagram.
She
And I
went
had to,
to Ireland. You must have didn't see the video. She went to
okay,
Ireland and she was having her time in Ireland, and then she missed her flight, and then she made a video. I'm gonna send you the video
send it to me,
because
please,
the
because I did
reason
not.
is because she specifically mentioned sunflowers and ladybugs. And I was like,
Stop. She will frequently have you be like, this bitch is talking to me. Like, this is for me. Because she'll be like, hey, you with the ponytail and the crystal earrings. And you're like, she can see me.
I mean, wow. But yeah, so anyway, she mentioned
Got it.
ladybugs. So that's why I brought it up. I didn't want to forget to tell you that.
Oh,
Okay, go.
okay, got it. So yes, my ladybugs, I was seeing ladybugs as just messages from the universe letting me know I was on the right path, as I was recovering from burnout, recovering from a big mental health break, if you will. And then they were just kind of guiding me and letting me know I was taking the right steps, and it was just so very comforting. So if ever you see me, ladybugs. cobalt blue hearts or blue hearts, because cobalt blue is my favorite color. It just feels like home. It's warm and rich and it just feels yummy. And I have committed to being loved out loud and loving out loud this time around, with this time that I've been given, and just not having to question that. And it's just been beautiful. So if you see me out here doing anything randomly on the internet, a ladybug and a blue heart lets me know you came from So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese.
And it's also a way to show extra love, y'all. So, like right now,
Yes.
if you're like, yeah, Kalonda girl, yes, then go ahead and drop some ladybugs and some blue hearts in the chat. Okay.
Amen.
Amen. All right. So, my emojis are the sunflower and the crayon. So, the sunflower, my favorite color is yellow. I used to wear yellow glasses. And what had happened is when I had went to Panama at the beginning of the year, I had fell and I had bust my chin wide open, and my yellow glasses got all scratched up, and I was trying to keep seeing through them, but it was giving me a headache and I just couldn't do it no more. So that's why I don't have my yellow glasses on. But if you would like to contribute to the Help Kimberland Get Her Yellow Glasses Back Fund, please feel free. Cash App KimberlandJackson. Okay. But anyway, so sunflowers represent healing, and seeking the sun is also a symbol for individual disability. I'm sorry, not individual, invisible disabilities. And it has like really powerful meaning. So the sunflower and the crayon, because there was a time in my life where I felt like everything was in black and white and gray. And even my wardrobe was very much black and white and gray. And I made a conscious decision that I wanted to color the fuck out of my life. And I wanted to see things in color and look for color and celebrate color. So the crayon is another way to be able to show me some love. So those are our emojis. And again, thank y'all. So this is a way to show love. Excuse me, when you see us, especially because there are a lot more appearances that have been happening. So just this past week, I had two events that I spoke at, a podcast episode that I recorded. When these things come out and we're like, y'all go watch this, like this is how people know, they got people with them.
Having people is important.
It is important. It says a lot, and that actually goes into what I want to talk about a little bit. But let me tell y'all what the people have done. So I want to give some quick updates. So we are currently at 1,156 subscribers. Where the air horns at? You got things over there? It's in the studio.
You don't want that.
Girl, I got to teach you how to work this stuff, ma'am. Hold on. Let me...
All of the air horns you want, girl.
Kalonda, that's Kalonda's secret. That's Kalonda's secret talent is doing air horns. Okay. But yes, we're at 1,156 subscribers. We're on our way to getting our channel monetized. And the last time that I talked to y'all, we needed 2,000 watch hours to be monetized. Okay. This time we only need 1,500. Our watch hours are up by 200%. And while it may not seem like a big deal, it really, really helps us for you to play our videos, because it helps us to get monetized. And once we get monetized, then people are able to help us sustain this. One of the things that I was able to get from the Patreon, I love y'all so much. So let me put the banner up, because this I got to tell y'all the understanding of why and how this makes such a difference. So I am neurodivergent, okay, meaning autism, ADHD, OCD. I get overstimulated by sound, specifically construction. And where we live, there is active construction going on outside.
6 days a week.
It's a lot for me. So I have been like, okay, brown noise, play the music. Like I can't leave home every day when I work here and my things are here. So I have been like, my earbuds ain't been working. Like they falling out my ear. Like it's a lot. But thank you, Patreon, that I was able to buy myself some noise canceling headphones. When I tell you it's the whole nother world up in here. Oh my God. If y'all don't have noise canceling headphones, y'all got to get you some. Okay. Because you are literally in your own world. You can't hear anything. I don't understand how people might walk around outside with these because Bianca came in the other day and scared the shit out of me. Like
Oh no.
I didn't feel like I had to watch the door. I was thinking
Right.
y'all was in the back. So I turned
Oh,
around and was like, oh my God.
Jesus. Oh my God.
I jumped
Oh,
so hard because I be in my own world
yeah.
trying to get my shit together at
I hear
all
that.
moments of the day. Anyway, shout out to Patreon. I was able to get myself some noise canceling headphones. Life has gotten so much easier for me.
Nice.
If you all are wondering what we do on Patreon, well, we share vlogs and talk about things. I'm actually going to be doing a live tonight with my Patreon to tell the tea, girl, because there's so much tea that's been going on, child. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get into it later. But anyway, patreon.com/mind my black ass business. It's only $5 a month, and every $5 goes to help us survive, to live, to be able to have the equipment that we need to be successful. It really, really goes a long way. So if you are willing and able, please go and support us at our Patreon. All right, so that's that. We say share. Ask an auntie. We have the Ask an Auntie segment. That is where we like give advice as aunties. We have accepted that we are aunties, okay, and
Mhm.
because of that, like we have wisdom, right? So kind of, and we
You
also
know,
have.
at least lived experience, you
There
know.
you go. There you go. There you go. There
If
you go.
nothing
Good
else, if
reframing.
nothing
Okay.
else.
There you go. If you have questions, wondering situations, scenarios, you like, I wonder what they think. You want to hear a
Mhm.
hot take. Please go to tinyurl.com/ask an auntie, and there you can outline what the scenario is and submit it to us, and then we'll talk about it on the show and give you our insight, advice, whatever, what have you. Last thing,
Mhm.
if you want to appear as a guest on the show, you can. And we've had guests on the show before, and it's been a really, really good time. So if you would like to be on the show to come chop it up with us, let us know what you think about the things and the such and the so's.
You know?
Please email us at mindinmyblackassbusiness@gmail.com with the subject line "Let Me On" there. And this is only caveat is you have to taste syrup on your grilled cheese. Okay,
It's delicious.
it's gonna change your life. Just be
So good.
ready. But a lot of times people are resistant, and this is the thing: is we're trying to open your world.
Open
Okay,
your
like
mind.
broaden your horizons,
Expand your
diversify.
palette.
There
You
you
know?
go. My cousin be knowing what I'm finna say. Okay. That's how you can do that. Okay, let me look and see. Are there anything else, updates, whatever? Okay, so let's start. That's it. What
Wait.
happened? What
Now,
happened?
Vanessa.
Oh, oh
I'm
my.
telling you. Now, see, and the funny thing is, I find
And you
that
know what you're
people,
gonna find even funnier? You know where Vanessa from?
where?
New Orleans.
Hi, Vanessa girl. Are you having crawfish? I miss crawfish.
Listen,
I
Vanessa, don't knock it till you try it.
she
Yes, keep an
see
open
there
mind.
you go. Thank
Amen.
you. Come
Amen.
on over.
Amen.
It's a good time. And it's like
It is.
the sweevery. Okay. Savory sweet
Oh,
combo is what I was trying to say.
see, I like this. I like this.
It's good. It's nice and rich. It's homey. It can become a comfort food if you like that sort of thing. So there's definitely a lot of options. You had some yesterday. I wish. Oh, I miss it so much.
So yeah, that's the only caveat to be on the show. Okay, you have to taste the syrup. You got to at least try it. All right. So okay, transparency moment really quickly and kind of like transparency moment, feelings wheel, if you will,
Mhm.
into what's
The
happening,
things.
the things. So the feelings wheel, y'all, is a tool that we be using to help us to understand our feelings. and to identify our feelings, because sometimes things be nuanced. And so I put it in the chat in case you're like, what is she talking about? But I'm curious as to where you are, where your spirit is right now. And of course, I would like to share myself as well. Oh, it doesn't have a www dot on it. Wait, hold on.
I see it.
Sorry, I got distracted. My bad. Go ahead. I'm over here messing stuff up. Yes,
No,
ma'am.
you
You were
good.
saying.
I wasn't.
Well, we need to talk about where you are.
Oh, where I am. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here, apparently. Y'all, look. Okay. Mercury is getting her micro braids, and it is everything. All right. My feelings right now, my ass hurts because getting ready for this show, I am short, right? And so trying to get the right angles, because I want to look snatched and cute and all that good stuff. So I need the camera to be up high, and then looking down. Well, then that created a really big gap between the top of my head and the top of the screen right here. So I needed to elevate myself, right? So I grabbed a pillow, and I was going to sit on this pillow in this chair. Y'all getting some behind the scenes information right now. So I put the I put the pillow down, and I sat down, and the chair shot out from under my ass. I hit the ground like that, like flat on my tailbone. So yeah.
God.
So that's how my show started. So right now my ass hurts is how is how I am feeling. But I'm fine. I was able to adjust the pillow the second time and wedge it in between the beds so it didn't shoot out from under me and I kill myself. Crazy. Side note, this is still feelings wheel too. Side note, almost died the other day. Friggin' iron falls off the top shelf in the closet while I'm just getting there minding my business. Girl,
Kalonda, that could have been bad.
I
Did you know
know.
it was up there?
I knew it was up there in, just in knowing it, but not like actively
It was
aware. I
on the
haven't
edge.
ironed or, nobody's touched it
Wow. Oh
and
my
nothing was
God.
happening for it to like fall. I wasn't doing jumping jacks in the closet. Like
Yeah. So
it
you
had been
used your cat
there.
like reflexes to miss it?
Luckily, it just like I don't know. I don't know. Jesus, thank you.
Okay. What was happening in the moment that you was like, God was like, hey girl, pay
Like,
attention.
girl,
What was going on?
get it together. I want to say I was getting ready to go upstairs to work. So I was just like, or you know what? I may have been getting ready for was it that day? Because I don't
Jesus.
know, I had a visionary kickoff meeting. So I'm wondering if I was getting ready to like put my makeup on for that. But I was just getting ready. I
You
wasn't
got to
doing
now,
anything.
but when that happened, you got to stop and take inventory. Hey,
Well,
what you need
well,
me to do and
what I
say? What's
did
happening?
was I said, "Oh, I need to make sure that I have a living will, active directive about what happens if I get incapacitated and whatever."
That's
Right.
fair. Okay.
So I started having that conversation. We can go over that later. But this was like,
I know somebody actually that I was just messaging with her because I was telling her about everything I've been planning, and I was like, "We gonna need you for the things, so be on
be
alert."
ready, be ready.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, anyway, so it's been wild. But aside from the two near death experiences that I'm gonna call them, I've been feeling motivated, um, validated in certain ways, loved, and like optimistic. I think so. It's been mostly positive. I do have little gremlins that I don't necessarily know that I can assign of a total feeling to how they're showing up for me because I don't think it colors everything, but it's
Mm,
definitely moments of just like uncertainty just um and just insecurities, I think. And
mm.
so, but it's not enough to be like that's my mood, but there are moments.
Understood.
Hmm.
Understood. And there's space for all of that. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be,
they can all
the either
exist.
or.
Exactly.
Exactly. Um, So my feelings right now are it is like it's a gumbo type situation. I will say over the past, what is today? This is in
The 20,
March.
yes,
Okay.
third.
Okay, the 23rd. So
It's spring.
probably through it is officially probably through Friday, things were just very heavy. Like I feel energy, and there's just a lot that has been going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I have been feeling like I've had to pull myself along, while also trying to create space to honor and acknowledge and give myself what I need in these moments, but also recognizing and realizing um, it's a lot that's going on.
Yeah.
And it can be kind of frustrating because I be feeling I was about to say what would normally be said, but I don't really want to say that. I be
Mm-hmm.
feeling like I'm on a roller coaster. Let me say that. And I'm trying to keep in mind all of the mitigating factors, right? So we just
Mm-hmm.
moved. I just was able to get the noise canceling headphones. Um, I just wound up getting paid with
Nice.
money that was owed to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm in my luteal phase, if you will, about to start my cycle maybe tomorrow. So, and Mercury's getting micro braids. Venus just finished, and it's a lot. It's just a lot that's going on right now. So I've really just been trying to create space for all of that and acknowledge all of that. So that's kind of had me all over the place. And I will say I think the word I would put on it is pensive,
Mm-hmm.
just really, really thoughtful and quiet, kind of just like internally thinking, and my brain hasn't stopped
Mm-hmm. Of
at
course
all.
not. That never does.
Correct. So anyway, so I realized when I get like this that I really have to be very intentional with my routines
Mm,
and stabilizing myself, right? And routine for people, I believe, is helpful.
mm,
Period. I believe there's a period at the end of that statement. How structured that routine is, I think, is very variable depending on the person.
right.
But existing without routine, I think that's a chaotic world, and I could be totally wrong. So point me out. I would love to be wrong. And especially for me, I have to have structure. I
Mm,
have to have things have to be in a place. I don't want to have to be looking for stuff. I need it to
mhm,
be where I put it when it is there with intention, lined up in a particular way. Like I live with OCD, and I'm okay with that.
mhm,
And now, so a part of that is organizing my world and helping me to feel confident in being able to do what I need to do, because I don't have to constantly be looking over my shoulder for something else to be about to happen. And that's what it feels like when you're moving and you're just kind of all over the place. It's just like I got to be on point. And
be on the ready.
because all of the work that I do is to help me to have a calm nervous system, I now know what it feels like when my nervous system is not calm.
Mhm,
And when things shift that, I'm doing everything I can to get myself back on track, because I cannot exist in chaos. That is just not something that I can do. So, and I don't think it's something that any of us should do. We were not created to live in chaos. The world is very orderly, right? Every 24 hours there's a new day. Every 28 days the moon does its phases. Every 28 days we have a cycle. Every 365.25 days we have another year. Like, the world operates in order. So chaos for me, I can't do
right.
it. Okay. So having said that, I mentioned that, and I'm kind of shifting now into our
You're good.
yes
Yeah,
indeed
you're good.
life updates, if you will. And y'all tell us that are watching if you can resonate with any of this. Again, this is a conversation, so feel free to chime in. Amen. Yes, girl, that me too, child. What you talking about? Explain more. Say the things. Okay, this is interactive. Um, so I had started a new podcast with a creator, and that journey has come to an end. It was a very short journey, and it came to an end over this concept of structure. And again, I'm going to share what happened on Patreon, okay, tonight. If you would like to have access to that, you could pay the $5. You could come and leave if you want. But that's where I'm going to talk about what actually happened.
Yeah.
But what I will say here is that the overwhelming situation was me advocating for needing structure, and them feeling like my advocation was an insult to them.
Mm.
And it was very interesting, and it was a lot. And we had a meeting, and I didn't have a decision about what I wanted the outcome to be. I
Mhm.
just very much wanted to hear and attempt to understand what was happening, because I felt very much confusion.
Yeah.
Um, and through that, a statement was made of, we are in two parallel universes, and we try to intersect them, and that doesn't work.
Hmm.
And I really didn't know how to process that or what that looked like or whatever. Also, I will publicly state that they have honored so far their commitment to pay me out for the work that has been done. There was money that was held, which was not okay. And I'm just going to say that, period, point blank. And I mean that. But that money has since been released.
That's good.
So I am grateful for that. However, it should have never been held in the first place. And I absolutely mean that from the bottom of my toes. So anyway, um that statement about those two universes really, like, kind of just, it was sticking with me, and it was just kind of in my mind, like trying to make sense of that, because I very much intersect universes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We have our universe here at Minding My Black Ass Business. There's a universe with myself and Bianca at Heal That Shit and Teaching for the Culture and all the things we were doing over there. I have a universe over here with Ratatouille and all of the, like, I intersect universes all the time. So I was really trying to understand what was happening. And it kind of started making sense in my meditation, because Bianca and I have this pop that shit challenge
Mm-hmm.
of, like, putting some respect on your name of who you are and where ooh. I'm sorry. I know I just saw that. I said ooh. Universes can always be merged, but both universes must be willing. And so this is what I realized, is that there was I'm not gonna assign fault or anything for why this didn't happen. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna accept accountability for what I didn't do. I did
Right.
not put enough respect on my name for who the hell I am.
Hmm.
Because when I go back and I take inventory of the life that I have lived, right? And I think what has happened is, because life has been whipping my ass over the past almost 2 years, I forget who the hell I am. And I'm allowing people to drag me into their chaos,
Mm-hmm.
because there's, like, almost a sense of desperation that is there, of I gotta make something work because nothing is working. So I've got to do something, because maybe this is it. Maybe this is the door. Like,
Right.
be, you know,
Right.
and there's seemingly amazing work that's happening.
Yeah.
So I would love to partner with that.
Oh. And you don't know how to half
And,
step, so regardless, so that's not an option. You're going to pour your all into all the things
and I'm gonna
until
show up as my full self, right?
correct.
But I was showing up as my full self without putting respect on my full self on the front end,
Mm.
right? Because I know what rooms I have and had access to and still have ability to access,
Right. Right.
and I know what my brain can do and create. And I know the number of lives that I have helped to change, whether that be children in classrooms, whether that be teachers who are teaching children, whether that be administrators who are responsible for managing that, whether that be district people who are responsible for ensuring that all the administrators are successful, whether that be school board members. I
Right.
have done work, right? But then also I mentor teachers, right? I'm a life coach. And I just kind of had to really be like, girl, if you don't stand the fuck up and be who the hell you are, like, what are you doing right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Because you done forgot who you are. What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Yeah.
So that led me back to come on, Xavier. Something I have to chant on the regular is from The Lion King. Remember who you are. Gotta walk with that 24/7. Let me tell you
That's
something. So
it.
let me tell you. So let me tell you what God did. So God was like, "Girl, you doing the most." And I told you I have to like have structure and stuff, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like trying to get my morning meditation together, and like my routines and what
The day
time am I
started.
even waking
Yeah.
up, all the things, right? And I like to be as variable with that as possible. I don't ever like to have to do something. That's just
Mm.
not how I roll. I want to get to do the things that I
Yeah.
get to do. I don't want to have to do nothing, right? So life was kind of starting to feel like that. So I was like, how can I get myself together? How can I get myself together? And I went on YouTube to see how many subscribers we had.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran across my what's it called? My affirmation video that I made
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
2022, right? So a couple days ago or weeks in this past 2 weeks, the 3-year YouTube anniversary of Minding My Black Ass Business happened.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that means this page was started 3 years ago. And the first video that was shared at Minding My Black Ass Business is this affirmation video that I made when I had just moved to Mexico. So the video is called Brown Girl Motivation. I'm going to put the link into the chat for you. It's called Brown Girl Motivation Daily Morning Affirmations. This video currently has, where is it even at? 19,000 views, which in some YouTube worlds, that's not a lot.
But
Okay.
that's
But
a
in
lot.
in this,
19,000 people, no matter what, is a lot of people.
you heard me? You
Okay.
heard me? Okay. So that's gigantic for me, right? So I saw that and I went on and I looked at the like you can do real time, like who has watched it in the last hour or so.
Gotcha.
And there were like 3 to 5 people at that very moment that were
Wow.
watching it. So then I was like, okay, go go see what you said when you had said what you said back then. And so I listened to it, and there, one of the affirmations says, my testimony will be, wait, I wrote it down the other day. I don't want to mess it up. Hold on. It's like my testimony will be someone else's survival guide.
Hmm.
And I was listening because I listen to things on repeat.
Right.
I'm one of them. That's one of the ways that I sound. So I listen to things on repeat, and I'm hearing this, and then I heard, and I was like, "Whoa!" It just kind of like,
Yeah.
okay. So then I said, well, let me write that down. So then that's kind of just been playing in my spirit. Like my testimony is someone else's survival guide. So I don't know if you all know. I mentioned I'm a life coach, and Discover Your Destiny is the first life coaching product, if you will, that I made. And it's a journey that I took when I was trying to get out of an abusive relationship. And the journey started in like 2013 when I got to therapy, but maybe started taking off like 2015. And then I actually around 2017 was like, I need to write this down because this really helped me to be able to understand who the fuck I am.
Mhm.
Right. So right now we're actively in the middle of a cohort for Discover Your Destiny. And this is very impactful work. So this is, let me ask you to describe it, because this is the thing. So this is not the first time that I've done Discover Your Destiny. This is the second time that I've done Discover Your Destiny as group courses. A lot of times
Mhm.
it was individual one-to-one, right?
Right.
So the first time that we did it, the feedback was like, girl, you need to put like intensive on the front of this or like something, because like this is a lot. So then I was saying, I'm an educator. And I was thinking to myself the other day, I was like, maybe I need to say this is like a course. It's like
Mhm.
a college course. You cannot not show up to this. Like if you're
Right.
not here for 2 weeks, you clearly ain't
You've
here.
you've
Bye.
missed.
Like
Right.
you have
You've
missed. This is
Yeah,
not
and there's
the
no
thing to
makeup.
just no.
Yeah. It's
Like
all
this is
building.
happening in real time. And one thing is building on the other. You have
Yeah.
to be actively invested.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm learning that like language because it's important to understand like what you're signing up for. So I'm
Mhm.
curious. Also because we haven't really had a chance to talk about it publicly for real. What has
Mhm.
your experience been like in Discover Your Destiny? And then I'll tell you the rest of what my meditation was.
Got it. No, so in Discover Your Destiny, it's been very eye opening, and we're on week 3, so we're almost halfway through. Um, but I want to say what really like sticks out is just that one, what I thought was going to be a sticking point actually wasn't, which I know we talked about before, was just using Bible verses or Bible as the book, as like the instruction book, which I appreciate because it's just really approaching it as it is, not interpreting it or as someone's told you or as someone's thrown the scripture at you before, but you actually sitting with it and saying, okay, what do I get out of this? Let me read this actual whole chapter and see what this chapter is saying and what these verses mean. And then how does that apply to my life today, and what kind of sticks out. So at first I was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not particularly religious. I definitely would say I'm spiritual. I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of church experiences across many denominations. So just wasn't really sure what that was going to look like. But I will say the way it's structured with looking at specific verses, pulling out what kind of sticks out to you, and then for me, because I love chat and I love AI, I go have conversations with AI about it. And I'm like, okay, how can I get this down to an affirmation? Or how can I put all of these together and come out with like, what does this all look like together? So that part has been really interesting. And then the ability to actually have this experience with other people that are on very different walks of life, just age wise, profession, interest, just every single facet you could think of, is also interesting because you get those different perspectives in real time, which is super impactful. And it's really cool to see everybody's light bulb moments go off. I'm not a teacher by profession, but as an operations manager for multiple many years and bringing on new employees and helping leaders, like seeing those light bulb moments will always get me. So being able to see that happen in real time is really cool. And definitely something that I hold near and dear. So I'm super excited to see where it goes. And just the nuggets that I've been able to glean so far have been priceless.
I appreciate that. I appreciate too that you take it and run with it, because that's what happened with me. Is my therapist had asked me to take a spiritual gifts test, and I did that, and then I ran with it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where my journey took me, right? And
Right.
that's the idea, is for you to have this conversation with God in whatever ways, and you take that and you run with that, because where I'm going is not where you're going, but they work together. As the comment was earlier, that universes can always be merged if those universes are willing, right?
Correct.
Because I believe in the power of collaboration. I think it is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely necessary in order for us to be successful at the
So,
scale that we are supposed to be impacting the world. And what I had to remind myself of, so for instance, the person that made the comment, they live in the UK. There's someone on
mhm.
here from Panama right now. There are people in the US right now. There are people that are on here from Colombia. This is an international operation
Right.
over here,
Right.
like in real life. And when I thought about that, I was like, okay, we gotta get serious, because I'm playing, like I'm playing in my own face right
Yes,
now,
indeed.
and I gotta stop,
Can't do
because
that.
what the
Can't do
hell? Exactly. So so I started thinking about like how this works together, because for me that's something that's always really difficult for me, is I see the different pieces but I don't
that.
necessarily see how they weave together.
Mm-hmm.
And some time ago when we were working on finding peace abroad, so something else that I do and we do is help people to leave the US and relocate, if that is your desire, right?
Right.
So actually somebody is coming, two people coming next
Yay.
weekend
Love it.
to experience Medellin and all of that. And like knowing that I've had that opportunity to help people to save their peace, to save themselves from burnout, like that is so gigantic, right? So I had to remember that. I mentioned this the 3-year YouTube anniversary. Well, why did I even start this page? I started this page because of everything that I saw in education in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So I have worked at a state level and at a federal level in the Department of Education. I understand what is happening. And there's a lot that's happening right now with the dismantling of the Department of Education, giving it back to the states. I can tell you it don't work. There is no like positive upswing to it. It does not work. And that was the
And that
issue
was
of
the
what
whole
happened
purpose in
in,
the first place. But
that was
yeah.
correct. And that is the issue of what happened in Pennsylvania, the exact situation that happened in Pennsylvania. I mentioned earlier, somebody's on here from New Orleans. That's the exact situation that's happening right now in the independent school district in New Orleans. Houston also, I believe, has an independent school
Mm-hmm.
district. In these places where there is local control, what it does is it just hurts people who look like us. That's it. There is no upside to it, right? So anyway, I've been talking about this stuff for a long time, and I'm like, okay, I gotta just stop talking,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe that the way that my talking is being interpreted, as if I'm dramatic, as if there here she go on another rant, like type of situation. And I said I really need to tap into that Harriet Tubman vibe that I've been talking about since 2020. And the way that people can find me is on the sunflower path. So y'all better
Mm-hmm.
follow the sunflowers to experience what I'm telling you. Because anybody that has known me for an amount of time can tell you that when I get to talking,
Mm-hmm.
you probably should listen. You probably should listen. And I'm not saying I'm right all the time. I'm not. And I am very okay with being wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
also, over 98% of the time, I'm usually right, because I usually don't talk about things that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that, I know that I can help people find their way out of situations. I talked to two other people this week who are in active burnout, trying to get out of hostile work environments, trying to just see straight. Somebody messaged me because of their stress, they now have a diagnosis that they weren't even expecting. And now you got to deal with that. Like it's just stuff piling on top of stuff, on top of stuff, on top of stuff, on top of stuff. And I was able to ask very specific questions of, what kind of community do you have around you right now? Do you
Mhm.
need help getting a doctor? Do you need help getting mental health support? What type of medications are you taking? And because I have access to people in
Mhm.
circles, I'm able to reach out and say, hey, all of y'all mental health specialists that came on Beautiful Brown Girls, and all of y'all mental health specialists that I know, we have an active and urgent need. How many therapy sessions can you provide for people who are trying to get it together? Because I remember what that was like standing in Pennsylvania. And if my line sister had not asked me a set of questions, I
Right.
would have just, I don't know. I don't
Right.
know what would have happened because I wasn't okay.
Yeah.
But when you're in that state, your brain cannot think of all these little steps that have to be done. So
Mm.
it's a huge lift to be able to give somebody a guide and say, here, these are specialists, mental health specialists that have said that they are willing to give you 5 free sessions to get you on the
Right.
road. These are doctors that have said that they're willing to evaluate you and help you to get some medication to help your brain have a break so that you can rest. These
Yeah.
are realtors who have connections who may be able to help you to find a new place to live. Like, we have to work together to
Yeah.
help people. And what I feel like is happening right now is we're working in silos.
Yeah.
People are doing their own thing. Everybody's doing their own thing. And if we would all be there for each other's stuff, we could help so many more people. And I feel like I be saying that all the time. And that's when I be getting real passionate, as Vanessa said, because I don't understand why we're not collaborating so that we can help ourselves and help each other. I'm a pause right there. I know you
Yeah.
probably got a lot of thoughts and questions and
Well, no, I mean, it definitely makes sense. I think part of it is, as a society, that part has been stripped, is that communal, everybody do it together. It was just all of a sudden it became like this trope of, oh, you have to be the strong black woman, carry the world on your back, take care of your man, take care of your kids, take care of your friends, never take care of yourself. That was never in the equation. And then, but it was also never, hey, none of us were supposed to do this by ourselves. Like the whole saying that it takes a village to raise a child is because that is how it was done, and that is how it was successful, was because one person can't be all of that to everyone and still be functioning for themselves. And instead we've turned that into the ideal, and that was never the case. Like, that was never anybody's reality, not in a positive way. Something suffered. um and then for collaborating, it's just, again, the whole thing, I gotta get it, I gotta do it, I have to be it's mine, mine, mine. And it's like, it's not about that. Like, it's, if you win and I was able to help by writing an email, then great, kudos, amen,
I'm
hallelujah.
making time to write the email because
Like,
I want you to win. Because when
right,
you win, more
we
people
have
win.
more
We
people
all
win.
win.
I don't need my name on it. My name, no one, it's not about the name, it's about the end result. But I think sometimes people get really blinded on, one, doing it without ego, and then two, having ego and not asking for help, because you also don't know where to go for that help. And if you're hearing other people's stories, you go, well, my stuff's not that big, I'll just figure it out, so we're all just silently trying to make it work, when we really do have immense resources around us that we just don't know because we haven't said anything. But that is also highlights the fact that at some point someone made it unsafe for you to share that. So you keep it to yourself. So I think it's having these conversations of this is what's happening. These are the options. These are the resources. And being able to share those conversations so people can see like, I'm not alone, other people have gone through other people have gone through burnout, mental breaks, stress, just life, and this is what they've done to kind of work through it and go, okay, there is a plan, there is a roadmap. And like you said, even in your affirmation, that is what you've done. You have turned your testimony into a roadmap in many ways, and that's something that we all have the ability to do, especially if you're selfless about it. If you really just care about the person, then it's like, here's everything I have. I don't know what's going to stick. I don't know what fits for you, but these are all the things. This is what I have. What do you think works? Okay, cool. Let's go here. Or I don't have that answer. Let me give you this person's number. I strongly suggest you get in touch with them. Now, that's what I can do, but it's.
And so just to that point that you just said, right, of I strongly suggest you contact this person, right? There is so much, and I hope y'all hear me from my heart. There is so much power in being with people who are going to speak your names in the rooms that you are not in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It is something I am very intentional about. And because we don't know everybody, but we are not even 6 degrees of separation many times. It's usually like 2 to 3
Mm-hmm.
degrees of separation from being able to get the break that you need to help people.
Yes.
And I'm trying to understand what prevents us from tapping in and just buying into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and that's why I said I struggle, because I feel like I be needing to have a map, or like some kind of visual or something. Because, for instance, we're on our monetization journey, right? We gonna be monetized
Mm-hmm.
definitely by the summer. I hope by the end of May. Also, we cannot do that by ourselves, so that's why we're
Correct.
asking you all for help. That is free,
Free
right?
help. Thanks.
Um,
Just watch.
Exactly, right?
You don't
And
even
if
have to
you
put your
want to
eyes
do
on it.
more
Just listen.
at all, and you ain't even got to actively listen, just put it on.
Just play.
It's just a help. Just go to work, put it on, press play. Thank you. That's it. That's
Uh,
it. But also, if you do tap in and listen, it just might do
there's
something
info.
to spark something in your spirit, right? But um there's so much power in being able to work together, is exponential increase, right? So
Yeah.
every podcast episode that I'm on, I'm the one asking them, how are we cross collaborating? How am I need a flyer. I need to be able to tell people about this. I need to tell my network about it. They need to come. They need to be able to see you. They need to be able to know you. Like, what are the things, right? And sometimes people are like, well, guess I can't.
I'm helping. Like this is help.
I'm trying. This is help.
But they're
This
not.
is help,
But
but they
that's
not ready.
unfamiliar. It may not be that they're
Well,
not
okay,
ready. It may
okay,
be that they haven't experienced it. Like if
that's
they're
fair.
used to saying, this is my platform, I want Kimberland to come on. They're used to in the past somebody just coming on and just taking. Like I want to
Mm,
use your audience and introduce myself to them, but they were never provided the option to say, well, look, I want to share your info so my audience can come and see. And if I'm here, there's obviously something that connects with us that I think my people would also enjoy. But people don't always do that. And that unfamiliar is like,
mm,
oh, wait a minute, why? Like, what's going to
mm.
happen? Like, what are you looking for? And so all of that stuff starts to kick up in your head, as it does with any relationships. If it's unfamiliar in your body, you're like,
Facts,
no, thank you.
facts.
Like, seems odd. As ready as
Yeah.
you may be to grow, but you may not know
Mm,
that that's what you need.
mm. So I hear that really, really deeply, because I feel like it's something that we would say about kids.
Mhm.
Like that's why representation is important. That's why exposure is
Huge.
important for them to understand that there is a different way. There
Mhm.
is a way to be able to, for things to be mutually beneficial, where no one is being taken advantage of and
Correct.
both parties are able to benefit.
Yeah.
And this is not my idea. Like, this is something y'all know, if you've watched me for any amount of time, how much respect I have for Kev on stage and what he has built, and the way, like, watching how God is blessing that man is in him and Melissa, because even though Melissa had not been on screen for much of the earlier parts of the thing, she is the mastermind behind the operations. So
Mhm.
together they are intentionally elevating Black creators.
Yeah.
Together they are intentionally creating opportunities. That's what I want to do.
Right.
That is what I am trying to do. Right? So um there's a lot that is in my brain, and a lot that I want to be able to use this platform for. And I
Mhm.
just hope that the word will get to the right people, so that the right people are able to share with the people. And whether that is someone, again, who is looking to leave the US, someone who's suffering from burnout and don't know where to start, can't even figure out which way is up, someone
Mhm.
who is trying to get out of an abusive relationship, someone who's trying to understand what their purpose is. Like, there are so many ways. We just need y'all to get them here.
Mhm.
We just need y'all to help us get them here,
Yeah.
because the opportunity is there. People just need to know about it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the totality of the past 2 weeks and the meditation. And it really is like, get out of your own way
Yeah.
and attach to something that is working. Help that work so that your stuff can work.
Yeah.
That's it. Follow the path. It is a clear and outlined path. Follow the path and understand that the work that you're putting in here has exponential impact over there.
Yeah.
But we have to make time and space for that. It doesn't make sense for us to be trying to figure it out. I got 10 followers and I have access to somebody who has 1,000. That and they want to help me, they want to collaborate. Yes, come over here and talk about your stuff. Go over there and talk about your stuff. You the collaborations. Okay, all right, that's all I gotta say about that.
Said that's that on that. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Last 2 weeks. So a lot of this kind of lines up a little bit. Just when I was talking earlier in the feelings, well, not my ass hurting. That feels a little better now. Thanks. It's gonna be the gremlins that I have. That like to just tell you things, and I've talked about them before, and you got to know when they're lying and all those things. And I have all the examples that are like, oh, when it says, how do you know that's going to work and that's not going to be successful, and why would they call you, and all those things. I also have the other side of like, well, you've done this and this. You have the skills, what are you talking about? It doesn't really shut the voices up though. So imposter syndrome is real, and in this process of starting Visionary Executive Network and wanting to create a space that's for um, executive assistants, for visionaries who need assistance, to be able to be that space where those two can come together without judgment and learn and grow in that environment and get the help they need. It's also brought a lot of those kind of imposter thoughts of myself to the forefront, and having to say, no, like, you've done this before. Like, there isn't anything in this that's unfamiliar to you. But because looking at it on, or trying to vision it on a much larger scale than I've done, and having it be mine, is not mine, but for me, is like, it's a whole different animal, because even though, yes, when I've worked with other companies, I took those roles very seriously. And I took those relationships that I was building with either employees or customers as like the most important piece, because it is. It's very different when you're looking at it like, okay, this is something that I'm trying to build, and I don't have a roadmap per se for this. So my brain has been working overtime, not so much in the services of what I do or what I can do. Because I mean, if you tell me what's going on, there are a lot of times I can kind of figure out, okay, well, this is a people issue. You want to focus here. This is a foundation issue. You need to look at this. But even just in valuing myself. So like when you were saying, you know, I got to pop my shit, go in the room. I know where I've been. I know the access I've had. Like, I know those things, but I'm also looking at the people and going, oh, and this is crazy because it's everything I taught against at Best Buy. Of like, oh, well, you know, I know what else they have going on. So if this is my rate, then let me give them a discount, you know? And it's like, you can't discount your skills. You can't discount your time, your value, what you want to do. And I had somebody tell me, your rate is your rate, period. Hard stop. Like, why are you trying to discount it? Why are you trying to take it down? And I was like, yeah, very true. Correct. But it's because I'm like, it's this push pull of like, okay, I want them to take advantage of the services so they can get the help they need, because I see they need the help and I know I can help them. I also don't want to be a burden on them with the cost of it to make it happen. So it's like, okay, well, I can cut the cost. I can control that, you know, and it's like, that's not the case. And I know that. Like, I know you talk to the person, build the relationship, find their need, you know, that they share with you, discover whatever unmet need that they didn't even know they didn't have, that they had, and then figure out what services you have. And that's how you build the value. And then it's not about how much it costs. It's, I need this, period. Like, it's worth not having Starbucks tomorrow or whatever other company we're not boycotting at the moment. Like, I can do without that because I need this, you know? So constantly having that conversation with myself. And then it was funny, maybe even yesterday or day before yesterday, there was like a reel or something, and this lady was braiding this girl's hair. And so she goes, so where did you want the discount? And the girl's like, what? And she's like, you wanted a discount, right? And the girl's like, well, yeah, I did ask, you know, if it could be less or expensive, it could be cheaper. She's like, okay, so where do you want the discount? You want it in the front? You want it in the middle? You want it in the back of your head? Like, you want me to discount this, so I need to adjust the work that I'm doing then if I'm discounting it. And I was just like, just something so simple, you know, just really put it into perspective.
Yeah, that's
Um,
good.
I was like, okay, I get it, you know, and just even hearing and having someone say your rate is your rate, you know, and if that doesn't work, then that's okay, you know, or they'll figure out a way to make it work, or you guys can talk about what different things can happen or whatever. So as I'm going through this process and bringing on more clients, having that conversation with myself and really being strong and saying, okay, this is what it is. And then just power of the pause and let them tell you what their concern is instead of trying to fix it before they even bring it up, has been interesting. So I'm super excited though, because I was just kind of reflecting and going through, and I realized that I have 5 clients. And
Oh, what?
I was like, well, that's exciting, because I was doing
Very good.
my bingo card from my journal. And I was like, oh, I need to go through my bingo card and check some stuff off, see what I've done, see what's left. You know, it's the first quarter of the year. You know, what goals do I have? And one, I wasn't nearly as far off as I thought I was. And then 2, going, oh, I can do that today. Like, I need to do that right now. So it's been really impactful that way. So I've definitely enjoyed. I've definitely enjoyed. So if you guys know anybody that needs an executive assistant, needs some help managing a calendar, creating some documents, little, small, whatever it is, I'm your visionaryexecutivenetwork.com, or visionaryenetwork.com. Yes, indeed. Don't even know my words. So, but I will say all of that to say the imposter syndrome of it all can happen to anybody. and can happen at any point in your career. But just continuing to give yourself those examples and surrounding yourself with people that know, like, hey, that's not you took a real big leap right there. That is not what's actually happening. Why don't you relax? So that's super important to have in your corner when we talk about collaborating, when we talk about your community. Like those are the things that you should be able to get from them as you're building these things for yourself and involving them. So we don't have to do it by ourselves. We are not all alone, even though it does feel like that. Like, but giving those people around you the opportunity to be there for you is huge.
I love that. So, I forgot to mention that the digital workbook for Discover Your Destiny is available. It
Yay.
is available for self-paced. So when I had asked you earlier about like it being intensive and like all that,
Mm-hmm.
doing the course with me is the course. Like it's
Yeah.
10 weeks and
Yeah.
you got to be present.
Yeah.
But everybody's not ready for that. So
Mm-hmm.
you also have the ability to be able to take the journey, self-paced guide, and do it at your own rate.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the organizations that I had spoke to was a women's group, and they are doing it as a book study.
I love that.
And yeah, so it is definitely very possible to be able to make things accessible on multiple levels so that we don't have to discount what is worth,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I definitely have learned and continue to learn that when people get things for free, a lot of times they don't value it
They don't
because it
value
was
it.
given. It was given
Yeah.
to them. And you can have the $1 million situation in your hands, but because it was given to you squander it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an important lesson. So even the multiple layers of access, right? You only have $50. Well, the journal is 47, and I bet you it'll change your life.
Yeah.
Like it's find a way to be able to
Yeah.
make it work, and for those of us who are business owners, find a way to be able to get something to people. And that is why we do things like this. This is a place to get free support. We telling y'all stuff that could technically be paid for, but we're here, we're talking about it, so let's talk
Yeah.
about it, right? So tap in is kind of what I feel like we need to remember.
Mm-hmm.
um I decided I'm going to do a healing circle on April 5th.
Nice.
And that healing circle is going to be for people who are in active burnout. So I will be posting it here like an announcement on the page. But if you are somebody that you know is in or near active burnout, this is a place to be able to come virtually for restoration and some journaling prompts and just an opportunity to just be. So more information will be coming about that really soon. So be looking out for that. Again, it's another free opportunity, but you do have to register. And that is to ensure our safety because when I was with Beautiful Brown Girls in 2020, in the height of the Black Lives Matter protests and all of that, there was a lot of trolls that would break into Zoom
Mhm.
rooms and cause chaos. And I only expect that that's going to grow. So a lot of the work that we're doing is going very much underground because it's just not safe to do that
Yeah.
work. I think I shared with you all. Thank you, Vanessa. I think I shared with you all that you being you and Bianca, that they're detaining people at the border with their phones
Yep.
and looking for any type of
Political.
information that is political, anti-administration, like all that kind of stuff. So things are getting more and more outlandish and wild. And um I don't believe I shared publicly here, so I'm not, but I am going to say just in case anybody was wondering, I'm not coming back to the US, nor can I come back to the US. It's not safe for me to be in the US because of the work that I do. And the work that I do is advocacy work. that is in direct contrast to the administration in the US right now. So that's important to know because that means I have to move a certain way with the types of things that I do. So just know that and know that I am thinking about safety and security and all of those things when spaces are being created and when I'm saying things. Okay. All right. Um, do you want to share? Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to Rabbit Hole? Because I know y'all watch Paradise. I didn't watch it, so I can't really participate in that conversation, but I know that people might have watched it that's watching. Or do you want to go somewhere else? We have time for a
Well,
little
no,
bit
because
more.
I think you want to do, because I want to make sure we get to your no, like your No Mercy, the TT journey. There's lots of
Okay.
places. Yeah.
Okay. So then I'll try to summarize that in a little container
She
before
said.
I know because it's a lot. So I gotta take it all and put it. Okay. So if you watch Heal That Shit, which is my podcast with my best friend Bianca, I shared and we both shared a little bit about what's happening in our orbit updates and such. I'm not going to really share all of that here.
Right.
Um, and if you're in my Patreon, I'm actually about to start talking about it, and I have talked about it a little bit. So I'm just going to fast forward and say this: I'm making a cookbook with a chef. His name is Ratatouille, and we have a title. And the title of the cookbook, so we had two options, and I did a whole bunch of polling to come up. So the title with the cook of the cookbook is La Saison y Amor, a journey of love, healing, and flavor. So sazon is seasoning, amor is love, and that's our cookbook, right? So we have been working on recipes and tweaking the recipes, and soon the test kitchen is going to be opening.
Woo,
Okay.
woo.
So I am going to there to be some coordination. So because I'm gonna need y'all to test some of these recipes so that we can make sure that they can go into the cookbook, right?
Yes.
And also on Patreon, we'll be doing it together. So if you all want to join us, then we can practice these different recipes and we can give Ratatouille some feedback in the moment about what it looks like, tastes like, whatever. I currently have a lot of food sensitivities, so that's what I'm thinking about is people who might have sensitive stomachs and how it's landing on those types of people or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's a nice project that you all can do with us. And again, we'll be doing that on Patreon. But anyway, so a part of that journey of love, healing, and flavor, a few things. So I told my dad that Xavier, I love you so much. Xavier said, life journey journals and cookbooks. Our library about to get a fire upgrade. I'm trying
We
to
are here
tell
for
you.
y'all. We're here for y'all.
Listen, listen. We trying to tell you, okay?
Oh,
So I was telling my dad about the cookbook, and we're from New Orleans, right? So he was like, "Man, I missed my cookbooks. They got lost in Katrina." So he was like,
Katrina,
"Man, I
that
miss my
bitch.
cookbook so much." I know, right?
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, which cookbook was your favorite?" So he was like, "Man, my Brennan's cookbook I really liked, and
Oh,
Frank Davis had one, and like
my
he's
Paul
like, I
Prudhomme one is the one I miss.
and that's what I told him. I said I was a Paul Prudhomme girl.
Yes.
Um, but anyway, I remember my dad always having cookbooks. My dad is a chef, for context, and just really values food and shows love through food. So, anyways, I was telling him about this cookbook project, and he went on. He missed his cookbooks and stuff, and I was like, I would like for you to write something. And because he had said, and yeah, Kim, I used to write, and I said, well, when the last time that you wrote something? He was like, whoo, shit, maybe what? I don't know. And I was like, well, I would like for you to write something in my cookbook because my dad is the one who taught me how to cook. I'm not a chef, but I do know how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'd like for you to write something in my cookbook. So the recipes that are in the cookbook are recipes that are meaningful to me and meaningful to Ratatouille. Ratatouille is Panamanian. So there's a different like world perspective that's coming into it. The cookbook is also going to be bilingual. So it will be in English and in Spanish, as well as the other day I noticed that, everywhere else in the world operates in the metric system, whereas in the
Mm-hmm.
US, we operate in cups and gallons and such. So I was like, I'm going to have to translate that.
The
Like,
measurements, yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, Lord, have mercy. This is a lot. But also it's really, really exciting. So I'm looking forward to it's a storybook, it's a cookbook, but it's also a storybook about what is
Oh,
happening in my life right now. And capturing those stories, excuse me, through specific recipes.
mm,
So that is in the works, and I'm
yeah.
hoping that that will be available this summer. And one of the types of recipes that I'm thinking we may put in there is tea, because I have officially declared myself to be a tea girly, and I
Yes,
bought
the
a cute
cutest little
little teapot.
teapot. Exactly.
It's so cute. It's
Cutest
a
little
little
teapot.
glass teapot and it has an infuser in it. And I went to the market and I got real herbs to put in there. Shout out to Amber. We went to the market together and was like, okay, these are the things. So I've been drinking tea every day and I do feel a difference. I'm
Nice.
targeting specific things right now and I do feel a difference and I'm excited
That's
about
awesome.
that. So that has been so much fun and just thinking about the different recipes that we can use. So yeah, it's like Test Kitchen is opening and pull up a chair and come sign up.
Yes.
So y'all, would y'all come, like if we had like a virtual cooking class or whatever, would y'all come to that? Um the Patreon is gonna be able to have access every time. I'm gonna just be like, "Hey, I'm finna be in the kitchen tonight. Get on here."
Right.
But for those of you who are not in the Patreon, if we have like a class or something, would you all come to learn? Y'all tell us in the comments, either live or if you're watching this on the replay, tell us in the comments because what I know is ratatouille soup changed my life. That's what I know. And I did not know how to make soup. I didn't that's we soup for us is gumbo.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know how to make no soup. Yes, Xavier said I'll be the first in the kitchen. Bet. Okay, y'all tell us if y'all are coming, then we'll set this up. But that soup changed my life because it wasn't just about the soup, it was also about the care and concern that went
Hmm.
into crafting the recipe.
Right.
And that is something with cooking. And I know you can speak to this because, you be chefing it up over here. Like the intention that you put into preparing the meal.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's just the thought of who's eating, what they like, what those flavors are going to go like together. Um, it's even fun when like you're down on groceries and you're just trying to figure it out and you're like, well, maybe if I add a little bit of cilantro, it'll give it a little razzle dazzle and spice it up a little bit, You try to find something. And I thought about you the other day because I was watching some recipe and it was for carrot cake because carrot cake is Kim's favorite cake, right?
It
And
is.
so it had this recipe to make this carrot cake with like oats, but then it was like you get some oats and then it was like, oh, put in warm milk. And I'm like, okay, well, we could still use almond milk. So I'm like, all right, I'm here. I'm still here. Grate up some carrots. Okay, good. We there. Some honey, a little cinnamon. Um, I'm forgetting something else, but like the cake part of it was good. Oh, some dates, some almonds. So it was good. I'm like, okay, this is perfect. And so then they go to make the icing and they're like, and then the sour cream and cream cheese. And I was like, oh, I was so close.
But this is
So,
what I started doing though, is thinking about things as muffins as opposed to cake.
hmm
Because the icing is not necessarily the best part for me. It really
And see,
is the
I
cake.
love the icing
Yeah, no.
on a carrot cake from in Superior Grill is where I was trying to remember the name of from 100,000 years ago, and I was like, I can't think of what restaurant it is. Blah 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 blah. But their carrot cake is really good. But I do love their icing when it's really warm. But yes, then I will still send you that recipe if I can find it, because the cake part would be fine. Just substitute
Hmm.
the milk for almond milk.
Okay. Well, then I'll
But
have
yeah,
ratatouille. Maybe we'll put that recipe into the cookbook. I'll have
ooh, and
ratatouille think
find a.
about how to make a different type of icing that can honor the cream cheeses type situation.
I like
Yeah.
it.
We have access to a chef.
Look out! You need a cake, and I know he saved the cilantro. Thank you, that worked because I heard the cilantro was was on the struggle bus.
Yes. Yeah, it's very, listen, I've said this before publicly, and I'm going to say this a few more times. Get you a chef on your team. Get you. I believe in having teams. One of the teams you need to have is a terms and conditions, bitch. Okay, that you got to have one of them. A chef is the next necessary person to have on your team. They will elevate your life.
Whole
Okay.
experience. Whole
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's where I feel like life right now is test kitchen time, and
Nice.
it's time to develop some recipes and figure out what that looks like. So I hope that y'all will come along for the journey because you're
Yes.
invited. Um and yeah, so anything else that you want to share before we get ready to wrap up?
Just trucking along, child. Y'all saw the websites. I'll tell you all the things later, but feel free. Come on over. Give me
What was
something.
your what's weird about? What did that mean?
So when I went to Peru, I joined different, Facebook groups that then lead to WhatsApp groups to say like, oh, welcome to the country. You can ask questions, the whole nine, right? So one of the groups was like, hey, some kind of way they had gotten posted somewhere else. So they got this influx of new subscribers and new people. And they were like, hey, welcome. We don't know where y'all came from, but feel free. Please tell us who you are, what you're looking for, whatever. So I did my little introduction. So after I did the introduction, there were two guys who messaged me on the side, and they were just like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Peru, blah, 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 whatever. And so we're
Hmm.
just like having light chit chat, whatever. Anyway, like, what are you planning on doing? So one guy was like, oh, there's a free walking tour, gave me the link on Facebook. So I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I was looking for stuff to do. These are some of the things that I had booked already. He's like, oh yeah, those are good. You're going to enjoy that. And he was like, well, would you like to go to dinner? And I'm like, huh? And I was like, oh, and I want to say it was like the day I gotten in or something. And I was like, no, like I'm not really going out tonight, but thank you. And he was like, well, it's just this restaurant would be a good recommendation, what have you. So I'm like, okay. So that one I didn't really think too much of. So then second guy was just like, same kind of vein. What are you getting
I
into?
need
What are you
more
doing?
context about the guys. The guys are expats as well, or the guys
I didn't
are
even get that far.
Peruvian.
I
Okay.
didn't even get that far. I believe they were Peruvian, though. At least they had
Okay.
Peruvian phone numbers. I'll say that.
Okay.
But we didn't even get that far. It was just, oh, welcome to the group. What sites are you looking at seeing? So that was also why it was under what's weird. So
Okay.
he said the first guy said that. Second guy was just like, oh, welcome. If you want to go out, meet, let me know. I can pick a couple places. And he's like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I was saying, at the moment, I didn't have a plan. So I was like, oh, I don't have anything planned yet. And he's like, well, I'd like to plan the day for you. And I was just like, this is weird. And when I was talking to just like a couple people that I knew and was explaining the situation, they were like, well, that's not that weird. And I'm like, how is that not weird?
So the people, again, in context, the people that you were explaining it to that you knew, are they expats or are they
No,
people in just
they're,
regular life?
yeah, regular life.
Okay.
Like, no, that's normal. And I was just like, I don't know. I mean, but I am
Well,
also,
but you didn't ask any other questions either to
because I
get
wasn't
understanding.
going to meet some strange man in a strange country talking about I was already leery of the free walking tour. I go to murder, rape, kill immediately. Like, do not pass go. Everybody is trying to
And
kill
I'm
you.
very much like, yes, I've met
Which
up
is,
with many people for dinner. Like,
I was about to say,
sure.
which is funny though, because I will go out and meet someone out and be like, oh my gosh, we're best friends. Let's go from this place to this place to this place. But for some reason, like it feels sketchier to me to have them be like, let's plan. Because now I feel like you have time to set it up, which I guess you could premeditate it if I met you on the street too. But in my head, you know exactly where I'm gonna be, what's going on. Like you've gotten all this. I know, thank you. I'm not going out like that. So it was like, I was like, is it weird? Is that not weird? I feel like just randomly being like, hey, I want to plan this
But the
day for
group
you.
is called what?
It is. It was probably like expats in Brazil, Peru, or welcome
That's what I
to.
mean.
Let me
So
see.
if
I'm gonna tell you
it,
which one it was.
okay,
Go
it
ahead. Go
depends on
ahead.
the context. It depends on the context because if it's an expat group and they are used to people coming in, you just introduced yourself and you said, "Hey, I'm here. I'm getting to know da 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 whatever," and they are could be trying to be hospitable. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
then, but I would have asked more questions. So, for instance, the person who said that they were trying to plan, to me, that sounds like they're trying to sell you a tour package. So I would have had more
Uh-huh.
questions about when you're saying planning, are you inviting me out for a cup of coffee? I need more details about what you mean by that.
Right.
Because it could be that, like for instance, I'm about to start putting Airbnb experiences up.
Uh-huh.
And one of the experiences, I think I told you this before, is like just offer to have coffee with someone and give them the lay of the land, just like, okay, this is, for instance, I had to tell the people that are coming, Colombia is a cash heavy country
Mm-hmm.
and they do not accept US dollars. So that means that if you want to be able to move freely, you need to have cash. There is a way to be able to exist here only on your card, and also it severely limits the opportunities and experiences that you will be able to have. That is up to you. ATMs are available, they work. If you
Right.
like, it's that's on you what type of experience that you want to have, but know that, right? So that's one of the things that I would hip people to if I was like, I'm offering to have coffee with you,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I would need more information to be able to say whether it's weird or not, because if
Weird
it's
or
in an
not.
expat group, they very well may be like, you said you was here and you wanted to, I'm I'm offering, like, this is what I
Yeah.
do. So for instance, for me, I don't be in the group, but I connect people to the group.
Right.
Right. So when people reach out to me and they're like, hey, what's going on? Da, 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 girl, I don't need much. No. And also, this who does. So go
Right.
ask them. Right.
Right.
But if I was somebody who was willing to like be in the group, I would totally be on the hospitality committee of reaching out to people and being like, do you want to go have brunch next week? I know you
Right.
don't know me, but also welcome. You want to go have brunch? Sure.
Yeah.
Now, it does kind of make it dicey with it being someone of a different gender. So I can see how that might be like,
Yeah,
okay.
I was
But
about to say it's not.
also,
It wasn't like a, because even running into like Amber wasn't, didn't
right,
raise my anything. It was just like, oh, super cool. And then even to have all the similarities and coincidences that were after it was
right.
still like, all right, great. But yeah, would I've looked at it differently if it was a guy? Probably. But
Yeah.
that was just on solo traveler out, literally just out there by myself. So it was like, I don't know about that. So like I looked at one of them, the first guy who gave me the walking
Uh-huh.
tour, he was just like, welcome. I don't know what group he came from. He was just like, oh, um, yeah, I don't know.
And this is a private message in
This is
WhatsApp
a
that's coming
private
to you?
message in
Okay.
WhatsApp. And
Okay.
he was just like, oh, welcome to Lima. That's when he sent me the free walking
Did he
tour.
introduce himself? Oh,
You
you
know,
knew this was the walking tour guy.
now, well, going back. So this is the
What's
message.
the first
I'm
message?
about, that's
Okay.
what I'm about to
Okay.
tell you.
Okay. All right. All right.
So
I'm like,
he
we got to
goes,
go back to the beginning. I need the details, ma'am. Color in the
so
lines. Okay.
he said, welcome to Lima, just in case for exploring Lima, and then sent me the link to the free walking tour. And then he says every day at 10 o'clock. So I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, I booked an experience for the Magic Water Park and was researching walking and cooking tour experiences. So that was the first two messages. And he's like, oh, good
Okay.
decision. Any information about Lima, places for food, just let me know. And I was like, oh, any info is welcome. I tried this restaurant. I heard about this other restaurant I should try. Pretty sure I messed up the name. And then I was like, are there any cigar bars? And he's like, oh, only in Miraflores. Sent me a map. He's like, Uber's cheap though. He recommended a restaurant. He's like, I'll go there for dinner today. If you have time, join me. And I was like, oh, wow, what a sweet invite. I was like, are you from here visiting or an expat? So I'm like,
What is your name?
I don't know you, dude. I still don't know his name. Oh, well, I do know it now. I lie. I know it now. I lie. He did send his Instagram in a second. He's like, I'm local, but I'm a digital nomad. I travel and I work. And he sent me his IG. He's like, and you and where are you from? So I gave him my IG. I was like, I'm from New Orleans. I've been in Medellin for the past 6 months. And he's like, oh, my favorite city. I was in the States, but never New Orleans. He was in New York, California, Virginia, Georgia. He's like, Medellin has a lot of reggaeton. He sent me some other place to look at. Then he's like, well, let me know if you need any other info. Then the next day he was like, hey, how was your day? I was like, oh, it was good. How was dinner? He didn't answer that part. But then I told him I was on my way to the tour he recommended. So then he said, great. And after it was over, I was like, it was wonderful. Thank you so much. And he's like, oh, you're welcome. Do you still have energy for hangout later for dinner? And I was like, oh, I just got back to my room. I haven't thought of dinner yet. May try to get to the beach. So then he sent me a video of the beach, like a couple hours later of the sunset. And then that was it. So like, that was literally all that conversation was. What was the other guy?
Okay, so the question on the floor is that weird? Okay, is that weird? So that's the first situation, guys. You have to vote in the comments. Is that weird? I'm still on the side of I could not necessarily.
Hold on. Okay, so this is the second one. So the second
but that's
one
for the first guy. I'm trying to separate.
The first guy.
So the first guy,
so
I'm on not necessarily
normal, not murder like.
Well, I can't say that either, but I would have asked him. I ask questions. See, that's why I got questions.
That sounds dangerous. I'm not going.
Right. But I would have asked him his name at the very beginning, like, hey, thank you. What's your name? Like, who are you? I appreciate it. Also, where you came from.
Where are you from?
So I would have kind of started to collect that information on the front end to kind of see if I could establish some type of understanding. But there's probably, with that interaction that you gave, there's probably a 52% chance that I might have considered taking him up on one of his offers of said restaurant or what have you. So that's the first guy. Okay.
Right. So the second guy,
y'all tell us y'all opinion in the chat. Okay. All right, go.
The second guy goes, hello. And I'm like, hi there. He goes, how are you? I was like, I'm well. You? Because again, I'm like, I don't know, y'all. And then he's like, I'm good, thanks. How long have you been in Peru? Do you like it? And I was like, oh, since yesterday, so far, so good. Lovely place with amazing.
Can I ask a question?
You sure
Why do you even start talking to these people without being like, who is this?
Because I do you do that? Stop talking to you. Like, it's not.
Like, but why are you not gathering the information to be like, hi, who is this?
It's coming.
Girl. See, this is how you be letting your brain get in a rape, murder, kill. Go.
So anyway, he goes, I said, lovely place with amazing people. He said, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. What are your plans for tomorrow? And I said, nothing yet. You? And I said, are you from here visiting?
What are you doing?
I'm getting there. That's the question. Are you from here? Like, who are you? So he goes, I don't have plans either. Yes, I'm from here. I'm Peruvian. Are you from the US? I said, I am. New Orleans. I've been in Medellin for the past 6 months. He's like, I've heard that New Orleans still preserves many US traditions. Come live in Lima. And I was like, oh, it has its moments. I was like, Lima is lovely. And he's like, oh, but not as beautiful as other places in Peru. Do you speak Spanish? And I said, un poco. But then I said, do you live in Lima? And he's like, sí, vivo en Lima. Antes vivía en Cusco. I said, qué bueno. He said, yes, I live in Lima. I live in Cusco, which is near Lima. And I said, oh, very nice. He said, sí, te veo mañana. What are you doing tomorrow? I said, nunca, no plans. He said, me gustaría. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, gustaría. Would you like?
Okay. Me gustaría conocerte. And I
I
was
would like
like,
to meet you.
right. I said, Verdad? And he said, see, I want to see
Really?
you. And
Yes, I
then
want to see
I
you.
didn't respond because I'm like, you don't know me. That's weird. But then I was told that that wasn't weird.
But
But
you're also being weird because you're not asking the goddamn questions at the beginning of these exchanges, and you giving a stranger all this information, but then you want to talk about rape, murder, kill. Sir,
that's why I
who
didn't go
are
meet
you?
him.
But that's why you ask at the beginning. Excuse me, thank you. Who is this? What is your name? How can I find you? Where are you? You have an Instagram page? Do you have a picture? Like who am I
But I
talking
feel like
to?
in real life, I knew there was no chance that I was going to meet them
So then
anyway.
why you talking anyway?
Well, you
Girl,
know, well,
I can't.
they said
Y'all
hello, so
vote
I
in the
said
comments.
hi. I'm polite. I am Southern, okay? I talk to
Stop.
strangers.
Stop. Because then you try to say that strangers trying to rape, murder, kill. And then you
Well,
out here telling I'm
it
from
was
New
weird.
Orleans. I've been in Medellin. And I don't have any plans tonight. I just left. Ma'am, which one is it? It's got to be one or the other.
I'm just saying, it's weird. I'll be weird too. I'll take that I'm weird. I am weird outside of that situation, yes. But that is also weird to be like, yeah, I want to plan your day. I want to meet you. I'm like,
It's actually not weird at all.
I don't understand.
Latin men move very quickly.
I'm not.
And and you already know that we've already had these conversations.
Yes.
If they had access to your picture, so from the way that you described it, that you introduce yourself, you put a picture, they had access to your picture, they see who you are, you just don't know who the hell they are. So
Right.
they are like, think of it as a dating app. Like they're like, yes, swipe right.
Yeah, but
What's
this is
up?
not a dating app. I want to know where the cigar bars are and where I can get the good ceviche. And I don't necessarily want to entertain you while having either one of those things.
So then you do that. No, thank you. I'm not interested in going out, but I would like to know, do you know where the cigar bars are or the whatever?
Then they gonna send me somewhere to get murder, raped, killed. No,
So
thank
then
you.
don't go. So why are you talking to him? I can't. I can't. I can't. We come back to there.
I feel like it wouldn't have felt as weird to me if there had been more conversation, to your point, in the middle. You know, before I want to plan your day tomorrow and meet you. Like the second guy, I know his name is Ed because that was what popped up on WhatsApp, but that was it. Like,
I'm going to still say it's going to be your responsibility to ask questions. And if you're not going to ask questions, then stop talking to strangers. That's it. That's on you. So
we'll see.
y'all tell us your name is Jane. Okay, please. Because girl, she out here like, hi, my name is Kalonda and I'm from New Orleans and I used to be in Medellin. And also I'm here visiting for the next week. And now I'm walking toward that view. I'm by myself. And also, who is this? Where are you from?
But no, so the other day here, I was in the elevator. We were going to I think we were going to the pool or coming. I think we were going to the pool. And so there was an older guy in the elevator already. And the guy was just like, hey, kind of like trying to figure us out, I guess. And then he's like, do you live here? And we say yes. And he's like,
is this in Spanish or English?
He was in Spanish. And so he said, where? And I said, why? Because I'm like, what do you mean? Because he was actually asking like, what apartment? And so I'm like, why? Like, that seemed weird. So then, even then, though, I was like on the 18th floor. And so I still was like, don't give him your address. Like, don't give him the apartment number. But I still didn't think to give him the wrong number. But it was like,
in this build, girl, we gotta do a damn. This is the next product. It's gonna be a damn guide on what the hell to say and what the hell not to say. I live in this building. Why are you asking?
I never even had a fake name at the club. I was always Kalonda. So it's like some people have their club name of like, oh, I'm Tina when I go out and I don't want to talk to nobody. I didn't have that. So it's like,
I didn't really have one either, but that's beside the point. Okay, because now here we
But
are today. Okay.
what I did realize though is yesterday when I was up there working, this lady was like, "Oh, do you live here? Where do you live?" Like, I think maybe it's a smaller
It's a
community,
common,
and
yes.
so they know everybody. So then they're like, "Who's this? Who's this chick? Like, where'd you come
Yeah.
from?"
Yeah.
But at first, with the first guy, it was very off-putting because it's like, "What do you mean?" Because so much
Yeah.
so that he was waiting for the answer while we were at his floor. And we're like, this is your floor, right?
Uh-huh.
It's your floor. Like, you got to get off. And he's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
But it's like an overview of like,
En este edifico, ¿por qué? In this building. Why?
yes.
That's it. But
Este
also, y'all
edifico
might be in este
en
edifico.
este edifico. Okay.
Sí, pero yeah, it's very possible with somebody being in the building that they're gonna see what floor that you live on, right? It
Yeah.
also is very common for people, Colombians, to go to each other's houses. So no,
Yeah.
it's not weird for them. No, it's very normal. But if it is weird for you, then you got to be intentional about how you respond to these
Right.
questions.
It was just odd. It was just a little
But it's
like,
not odd.
what apartment do you live in? Like, excuse
Yeah.
me? Like, why? Why? You coming to my house? Like, that's weird.
That's a fair question. But yes, the answer would be yes. And then it would be like, do you want to come over for dinner? Like, we're having a so-and-so's having a party on
Right.
floor 22.
Whatever.
Like, do you want to come? Yes, because this is, very much a contained community. But also it's not, I'm telling you, it's not weird. Colombians, they do that. They go to each other's houses. That's what they do.
Fine. It was just, it felt weird to be like, what apartment are you in? And it was like, are you asking because you think we don't belong here? But then like when the other lady asked, it was just, and it was like three of them. It was a bunch of people. We had been having different conversations. And so I was just like, oh, it's just that they're a tight knit community. And so it was like, oh, well, where do you live? Where are you from? Blah, 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 whatever. And like, clearly there's just not a lot of Airbnb traffic is what it made me think. So that part felt normal. Peru felt weird just because it just felt like it was 0 to 100. Like,
yeah,
I'm not
he was on the
dating
line.
app. If I was on a dating app,
I would have
understood. Right.
He was on
I would have understood that trajectory of that conversation, but that wasn't the frame of mind I was in. That wasn't the context in which I met him. So that was weird to me.
Yeah, agree.
The apartment thing was just odd because I'm like, why? He didn't say what floor. He was like, what apartment? And I'm like, why do you need to know my apartment number? Like,
because that's what I'm telling you. That's what they do, regardless of whether it's a tight community or not.
That had ever happened to me. So
but that's why I'm telling you again.
For it.
I understand, but it's not. They very much. That's what they do. Like, they go and visit at each other's houses. So to ask somebody where they live is normal for them. But I get, because people have asked me that, and my question is why?
Right.
Yeah. Because that's a normal question that they ask. And my question is still, why?
Right.
Because what are you going to do with that information? Oh, well, we just like to know. Okay, well, I don't want to tell you. So now what?
Right.
But I was able to gain the information.
I will say
there you go.
I'll say
there
that.
You go.
I won't call it weird, but it was very unfamiliar because it had never happened.
Old boy was weird though. Number 2, he was on a date now. He was on a date nap. He didn't let you know, and he did not even leave with his picture. If he gonna be on WhatsApp for the date nap, he got to do better. So he got to send his picture, and then he got to be like, "Sir, if you're listening, okay, you got to send your picture first, okay, and be like, hey, my name is. I saw you in the group. I was wondering, da 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 da. You got to set your intentions from the get go, okay? That's what we got to do. All right. So if you're listening, good sir, do that. All right,
sir, do that. There it is.
So y'all vote in the comments. Y'all vote in the comments about whether it's weird or not. And what that looks like. And just stop, please. And you're now Jane from Kentucky.
Jane from Kentucky. Bye, y'all. It's Jane signing off. I'm a practice.
I'm about to say, so that's the inside joke. Okay, so only people that are here are gonna know who we talk about when we say Jane.
Jane. Okay.
All right, y'all. So we wrapping up. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. We will be back in 2 weeks on April 6th.
Yes.
Tell the people again about your spaces, where they can find you, all the things, please.
You can find me on Facebook at Kalonda Jackson. You can find me on Instagram at Kawana Bear, KAWANABEAR. You can also find me on Instagram at Visionary Executive Network. You can find me online at visionaryenetwork.com, where you can get executive assistance help as well as links to my Wildly Joyful Life journal. And don't forget Cash App, $Kalonda.
All right.
And in the
And
house.
you can find me at KimberlandJackson.com, as well as at Minding My Black Ass Business on all platforms, Minding My Black Ass Business for merch. If you're looking to leave the US and you want assistance with that, please go to findingpeaceabroad.com. If you are interested in learning about Discover Your Destiny and what that journey is like, please go to dyd25.com. I will say my website for some reason doesn't seem to be on right now, so I got to figure that out right now when we get off of here, because what is happening? Okay. But well, it is. It's a whole, and they must be tight. Okay. Speaking of, next time that we return, I will have a new hairstyle. I washed my hair yesterday in preparation, so I will be happy not to have to do hair for a little while. Yeah.
It's a blessing, let me tell you, bro.
I know it is. I know it is. Trust me when I tell you. I can't wait to get there. All right. If you all have not done so, please take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, share. Like we said, if you smiled one time during this interaction, please share it with someone. And if you can also tell us how many hours that you can pledge to help watch our content or help play our content to help us get monetized. If you'll tell us that in the comments, we're asking 2 hours from everyone, if you're able to give that to us. And thank you to those of you who have been here with us live. This helps with those watch hours. So thank you for helping us out with that. We hope that by May, we will be able to make an announcement and be like, y'all, we qualified for monetization. That's the plan. So, so yeah, please do continue to hang out with us. Continue the conversation. This is a conversation. So feel free to give your opinions. We will respond and talk to you about the different things. Okay. So it doesn't have to stop here. Again, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Tell somebody about us. All right. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.